close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.
Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Susan. I'm a first-time mom who's diagnosed with a brain tumor and epilepsy when I was 3 months postpartum. This is my life. I have been a content creator for over 5 years now, but while I am in the process of figuring out a treatment plan and adjusting to anti-seizure medicines and still having seizures, I am at home, so content creation has really been a place for me to self-express, to document my journey in hopes of helping others, whether they're in a similar situation, know someone, have a friend or a family member, and just shed light and raise awareness for brain tumors, epilepsy, and mental health, because having a diagnosis like this affects every part of your life, and I just want to shed light on that and be transparent. So this is going to be my first weekly vlog. I used to do weekend vlogs or daily vlogs, and that is honestly, I can't do that. I'm not in a place where I can record all day long, edit, and then post. So I feel like the pace of a weekly vlog probably aligns more of where I'm at, just my skills and capabilities of what I can do right now. It is Monday morning. I usually try to do like a weekend reset to start the week in a really nice, clean space. However, this past weekend, my grandfather passed away at the beginning of the month, so we had his wake, funeral, burial, and reception this weekend, and then yesterday, me, my husband, and baby daughter were just absolutely wrecked. We were just exhausted from the change of schedule. Saying goodbye is really hard. With all of that said, it is Monday. We're gonna do a reset. I was feeling really defeated yesterday in a number of ways. Having a brain tumor, the initial shock of that is really hard, but then once you try to get back into life, you realize life is never gonna be, oh my God, my neck hurts. Life is never going to be normal or like what it was before. There's a lot of different hardships that come with it beyond just being told you have a brain tumor. And I just want to be transparent about that because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I feel like a lot of people assume when you're not at work, like, oh, what a nice break. That is so far from the fucking truth. I don't even know where to I'm not even gonna dig into that. Without further ado, let's reset my life. And then who knows what this week will bring. I never know. If I plan something, then a boulder comes through and ruins the plan. So I just try to fly by the seat of my pants. It is going to be raining all day today, so I'm not going to get a run in. That's more than okay. Tomorrow's supposed to be really nice and sunny, so I'll try to get a run in. I woke up with the worst kink in my neck. I don't know if it was like from wrestling my baby through all the receptions and things. She was so good. She's 8 months old, didn't make a peep in the church, was so happy at the wake, so content, like, oh, I'm missing a nail. I'll have to address that situation. She is just over 20 pounds and cannot sit still. So like holding her, she's like spinning in a circle. I don't know if it was that or if it's from sleeping wrong.
Close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Another beautiful day to be alive. Yesterday was hard for me. I got a lot done, just like small tasks, laundry, dishes, that sort of thing. But I really struggled. And I think I had an emotional hangover from this weekend, from, the funeral and burial. And that was a lot more socializing than I have been used to, especially since having the seizure and recovering from that. I'm just home alone a lot now. I was just in a funky space. I didn't really want to talk. I don't know if I'll edit this out. I was reeling from the fact that none of my friends showed up to any of the services. And at first I was like, no one likes me. I went into a spiral of negative self-talk. So I was blaming everything on me, but I don't think that's the case. And now, having a couple days distance from it, I'm now quieting my insecurity. Everyone has busy lives, and I just need to accept that. Some of my newer friends didn't even know my bunga. So I'm letting go of that hurt, because I was creating that hurt for myself in telling myself nothing factual. And I think the only reason I even noticed was some of my cousins had friends show up, and I was like, I didn't even actually notice until at the end. And I think Friday night, I was like, no, people will show up for me tomorrow. And then, my husband and daughter were obviously there, and my in-laws did come. So I can't say that no one showed up, but it was just, I think I had some sort of an expectation that people were gonna come. And this is not me shading on anyone. This is not me complaining. This is not me sending a passive aggressive message. If my friends are watching this, it's not that at all. I just want to talk about it because I realized today that I was hurting myself by telling myself this narrative that they don't love me, that they don't care about me. That's not it at all. My friends do love me. They do care about me. They couldn't come, and that's okay. Next time you feel hurt, obviously feel the hurt. If I would have tried to unpack this, on Sunday when I was feeling the most down about it, I wouldn't have gotten anywhere. So once you get some distance from it, or once you start being able to identify when you feel insecure and hurt, identifying when that spiral kind of starts, and then instead of following that path of feeling insecure and telling yourself it's all your fault and starting the negative self-talk, choose the other path. Choose the path of compassion and kindness and understanding that they either had to work, they are slammed and it was their first day off, and who knows how long, that they had their own bad mental health day, that they just couldn't go. It's okay. And it maybe doesn't have anything to do about you. And that's something that I think we're all self-centered in some way, shape, or form. So just kind of checking yourself. Maybe it's not about me. And I feel uncomfortable talking about this because I was like, wow, I really made something that wasn't about me by Sunday, because then I was sad and mopey, and I was like, no one showed up for me. And that's not true, because my dad, there were tons of people there, and they were there to support our entire family. So I'm probably going to edit this out, but if not, I hope that you found a morsel of information there that could help you. This conversation started because these are 3 things that I've been doing for mindfulness and have truly pulled me out of some of the darkest times that I've experienced with this whole diagnosis. And these are things that I do every single day, tried and true. I have not missed a day since January of doing this, and I absolutely love it. So let's get into that part. The first one is Grace for the Moment, Inspiration for Each Day of the Year by Max Lucado. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. So what it is it's you get 2 pages a day, so morning and night. And it's not directly from the Bible. It's not a lot. It's 3 small paragraphs and then a question. And it does have to do with faith. So sometimes it talks about God, sometimes it talks about Jesus or people in the Bible. I grew up Catholic, and I was really into it when I was a kid. And then as a teenager, I drifted away from it. And there's a lot of things that I don't agree with. We're coming into a time where faith is more fluid, And I am exploring that. And just like Taylor Swift says, desperate people find faith. So now I pray to Jesus too. I'm just on a faith journey, and it's not linear. This is my faith journey. I'm starting with this. It is small, it is digestible, it is bite-sized. But I just feel so much more calm, and ultimately I'm looking to find peace in my life. And if I can find peace through faith, sweet. It alleviates a lot of stress when you can turn to something that in theory is always there. So I think a lot of this comes from this started in January, but my grandfather knew he was dying. He was very sick for over a month and a half. And he had such grace and calmness and peace with dying. And I truly believe a lot of that came from his faith. My morbidity and my awareness of death is obviously heightened since having a brain tumor diagnosis. And I want to have that grace. And I definitely didn't have it on my own, which is why I've turned to going back to my roots in faith. And I also watched this. I was 6 years old when my grandmother passed, but she too had that same level of grace and not a lot of fear when she was in the process of dying. Yes, I've seen it twice, and I want that comfort. Also want to make it clear, I believe that everyone should feel comfortable with what they believe. So if you don't believe in anything, cool, we can still be friends. You believe in something different, also cool, we can still be friends. Like, I feel like sometimes, growing up, I watched a lot of judgment when it came to faith, and it was like, if you don't believe this, then you're wrong. And that's just not who I am, and I don't believe that that's right. I think if you believe in a higher power of any kind, or if you don't believe in anything, that's a personal choice. And it also has to do with the lens in which you grew up. That was rambly, and I hope that you know, ouch, my neck is still bothering me. This all comes out of a place of love and compassion, and I hope that translated through my ramble. So this is the first thing I do every day. The next thing I do is courtesy of Mel Robbins. This is my dream journal. Every single day I write down 5 dreams / goals / wishes. And I'm not gonna lie, this little book has some power. So I started this in March. This one I started March 3rd. And so it's 5 wishes each day. I do it first thing in the morning. And it kind of aligns me to just thinking outside of right now. And this is really integral to my healing process because I genuinely thought I didn't have a future. When I was diagnosed in October, I thought I was going to be gone but before summer. I could not picture making it through the winter. I could not picture I guess I could kind of picture spring, but like Chris had made a comment about, oh, this summer we'll be on the lake, and I was like, I'm not gonna be there. And not that I didn't want to be there, but I just genuinely didn't think I had a future. This practice has given me such hope, and it's making me think about my future, which I didn't have initially, which is so ironic because I'm the type of person who had a 1-week plan, a 1-month plan, a 1-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan prior to my diagnosis, and then for that to just completely unravel. This has been nice. This has been exciting. I look forward to this every day because I can picture myself on a farm with a wraparound porch and horses. It's like unlocking childhood memories, but also making me want to work this lifestyle that I want for myself and my family. So 10 out of 10 recommend 5 dreams a day. It's really going to change your mindset. And then the next is kind of a combo. I just journal in general. So sometimes I mostly journal in the afternoon and evening because those two things kind of take up 15 minutes a day usually. So I'm trying to do those when I'm up with Julia. When she first gets up, she's playing her playpen and I'm sitting on the couch doing these two things kind of quickly. And then I do journal in the afternoon or evening. And I am like 4 pages away from this journal being full. And don't worry, I have my new journal lined up, ready to go. I'm super excited about that one. This one was a hardcover. It was cute, but not my favorite. And the next journal I have, the line spacing is perfect. The texture is perfect. She bends. If you know, you know, when you find that journal that just works for you, nothing better, no better feeling. And then my goal was to read 12 nonfiction books this year and 12 fiction books. And this is my fourth or fifth nonfiction book for the year, and I am really enjoying it. This is by Robin Sharma. They also wrote The 5 a.m. Club, which was the first book I read this year, and I loved it. Something about recovering from a traumatic brain injury and the prolonged seizure activity that went undiagnosed for 3 months, and then I've had a lot of breakthrough seizures since October, and that damages your brain every time it happens. Reading, comprehending, remembering is really hard for me. So I have been reading. I read every single day, and I do it for practice. And so I don't remember a lot. And that's the other part of this whole experience. I honestly don't remember if I've told you this, but I have like book, TV, movie amnesia in some way, shape, or form. It's like that information was just like erased after the grand mal seizure. So I actually have the gift of rereading books and watching shows that I had watched in the past, but I genuinely don't remember the plot or what happens. That has been an experience because, I've always see these videos and they're like, if I could read this book for the first time again, these are the books I'd want. And I actually get that opportunity. So I don't know if that's sad or happy, but I will say in the first month that I was home, I rewatched The Princess Diaries and I was shook because I was like, that was when I realized I didn't remember anything that I had read or watched. And I was like, what a gift. This is so cool. Anyways, that's the stack of my books that I do every day for mindfulness and just kind of aligning myself and checking in. And they really make me slow down and think about the world around me, the greater, like the bigger picture of things, and remembering that everything I'm going through, I'm not alone in it. And it's a really lonely business of having a brain tumor and just going through everything that I'm going through. Not a lot of people understand it. And if you do understand it, I'm so sorry that you understand it. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Thank you for coming to my rant. And we'll keep going with this weekly vlog. I need some groceries, so my mom's gonna pick me up because I cannot drive thanks to the brain tumor. You have to be seizure-free in the state of New Hampshire for a year before you get your license back, so I won't be able to drive until next March at this rate. Lucky me. These are my sneakers, they're Steve Madden. I got them at TJ Maxx for like 20 bucks. Just stay there. I have my little Lulu belt bag that, let me not fool you, I did not buy. I got it as a gift for doing a brand deal, like a sponsored video. And then I have my 2 reusable canvas bags because I really don't like the plastic bags and I want to try to be as sustainable as possible. So this is the outfit. And now I'm just waiting for my mom. It is another day in paradise. I'm a mess. Oof. I usually do this on my TikTok vlogs, but my morning's been not off. My morning has been different. So here we are. And I think maybe I won't vlog today. I don't know, but gotta have my little candies. This is 100, I don't know if that's gonna load, 100 milligrams of lamotrigine, which is an anti-seizure medicine. And then this, between the two of them, are 750 milligrams of extended release Keppra, also an anti-seizure medicine. This combination seems to be doing the trick for the moment, so very grateful for that. If you're new here, I obviously have a brain tumor and epilepsy. The epilepsy is caused from the brain tumor. And we have spent the last last 5 months trying to get me on a dose combination of anti-seizure medicines that actually stop the partial seizures. I haven't had a tonic-clonic seizure since October, which is when everything was diagnosed, but I still have partial seizures, which they consider, I'm so sorry, those pills are rough. I still have partial seizures that are considered breakthrough seizures, and we have tried, I don't even know how many dosages of different medicines and increasing them and then decreasing them, and it's been like a whole thing. With that said, this one seems to be working for now, except I am cautiously optimistic. I still have had a handful of days where I get 1 or 2. Not enough where I need to take an Ativan to stop it. But when I first got put on this medicine, on any anti-seizure medicine, I had a solid 4 weeks when I first started taking the anti-seizure medicine where I had not a single seizure, which was life-changing at that point because I've been having dozens of them each day for 3 months at that point. But then around Thanksgiving time, they started again. So I just started this combination. It was the day that I talked to him for the last time was when I started the new anti-seizure medicine, and it worked. And my mood has improved quite a bit. I still get angry, but I feel like I'm just angry with people's incompetence, and that's nothing new. That's the redhead in me. That's just my short fuse. So I'm not too concerned about that, but the like red hot rage that I was experiencing on just the regular dose Keppra has subsided. And I would say the depression has subsided quite a bit, has gotten a lot better. Definitely still there, but considerably better. And I think a big part of that is the sunshine is coming out. Like, we live in northern New Hampshire. When it's wintertime, it feels like it's nighttime all day long. Like, there's some brightness, but it is dark, and it has been a cold friggin' winter. So now that there's some sun out, it's getting warm. Oh, that's giving me like a breath of air. And then obviously my grandfather was really sick for over a month, which had my family pretty separated. He was 2 hours away. And so my parents and aunt were alternating spending the days down there. And then just the process of knowing and watching someone pass away is not pleasant. So although I miss him tremendously, I am so grateful that he is not suffering. So today's plan, today is the last day that Julia's at daycare for the week. So I try to get everything that like I have to get done. And then tomorrow is Chris's birthday. So we're gonna have to, her and I are gonna do some crafts for him for his birthday, which I'm excited about. And I got him a couple other things. That was weird. That headache just came on out of fucking nowhere. That was really strange. That was so bizarre. I got like a headache, and then this eye felt so heavy, like the eyelid. Strange. Today is supposed to be the nicest day of the week, so I am gonna go for a run, and I am by myself. I don't have Julia today, so I won't have the stroller and the extra like 25, actually it's gotta be more like 30, 35 pounds to push in her running stroller. So that will be nice. The sun is out. I got new running glasses because my sunglasses kept falling off my face. Let me show you. These are not the ones that I had in mind, but they're gonna do. It's the right concept. These were the cheapest ones I could find on Amazon. I look like a race car driver. I never in my life thought that I would be this person, but desperate times calls for desperate measures, and I definitely needed a pair of glasses that weren't gonna fall off my face, like especially when I'm pushing Julia. The last thing I need is another distraction. Talked to a couple people that I was like, yeah, I'm running again. And they're like, you're running on the main road. The road we live on is, I don't think it's considered a highway, but people drive fast. I think the speed limit's like 50. So like it is a busy road, but I don't have an option. Like one of my family members was like, you can't be running on the main road with Julia. How am I supposed to get anywhere? Like I I can't drive. If I could drive, I would happily pack us all up and go to a park or go somewhere like that, but I don't have that choice. So I only run a half a mile on the main drag, and then I'm off on a side road because I run to my parents' house and back, typically. Today, I was almost thinking about running a different way and going down. There's a house that I am like convinced at one point in our life we will be living there. And so I kind of want to go run by that. But that's kind of a haul that's not super close to where I live. Well, it is, but it's not. Super close in a car, not super close on foot. And that is a much busier way. So I think I'm just going to stick to my normal routine, run to my parents' house. Sometimes my dad likes to go for a spring walk, but I think he was in quite a bit of pain. So he probably won't be up for a walk, but worst case, I'll run there and then just run home. Maybe stop and see them a minute. So yeah, that's a plan. Me and my racer glasses, except I kind of have a small head and these are a little bit big, but I feel like if I just bend them to smush them on my head, it won't be as big of an issue. I genuinely cannot believe that I am this person now. She's a runner. She's a track star. Okay, that's all I have for you now. This is my lunch today. It is a salad with chicken, tomato, feta, and crushed up croutons because I hate big croutons. I have had severe appetite loss since the diagnosis and since I was put on anti-seizure medicines. They think that it's a side effect of that. So me being excited about eating this salad is exciting and hasn't happened in a while. Also, am I the only one who likes reheated coffee? Because this coffee went cold from this morning. I drank like 2 inches off of it, maybe like 4 sips. And then I got busy getting Julia ready for school. And then I went for a run. I didn't want to shit my pants because I can't drink that much coffee without having to go to the bathroom. So I reheated it and I feel like it tastes better reheated. I think I'm crazy, but I'm going to watch an episode of Suits while I eat my lunch and just relax. This is the first time I've sat down all day. I cleaned up all the dog poop in the yard from the whole winter now that the snow's gone. I did a 3.5 mile run, saw my parents for a little bit. And now I'm going to rest because that is honestly the biggest part of the healing process is rest for my mind and my body. So I'm going to do that now.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left.
What do you see? Wow. Whoa. Wow. Say hi to the vlog. Say hi. So today is Chris's birthday. Hold on. It has not been our normal routine today. My cousin came and took an exam here this morning. So we got out of the house so we wouldn't distract her. And then we ended up with my dad. So we went for a ride. We had to fill out some paperwork a couple towns over. And then we went to my dad's friend's house. They were making maple syrup. So we got to go see the Sugar Shack and we spent a bunch of time there, hung out with those guys. Then we grabbed lunch and hung out at my parents' house for a little bit. And then we came home. Today is my husband's birthday. If you guys have not, if you're new here, my husband has a ginger beard. We worked together at a retail store and I did not like him. He was so grumpy and rude. And so our friendship started because there was one day he was just bitching and moaning about something. And I was like, you're just a ginger troll. Like, do you ever smile? And that made him laugh hysterically, and the rest is history. But because of that story, and he is a little ginger troll, I have to show you the birthday cake I got him. You're gonna die. Hold on. He's gonna kill me. I got him an actual birthday cake too. This is more of like a gag gift, but it looks just like him. And it was on sale because St. Patty's Day was a day or two ago. Yes, I know, but isn't that hilarious? It's literally Chris. It looks just like him. So we have, come here, you want to come back up? Did you want to see the cake that looks like Dada? Does that look like Dad? That looks like Dad. Hey guys, I am exhausted. And it wasn't, like, it was a good day, but I don't want that in the back. They're logging across the street from our house, which is like nothing crazy. But my grandfather would have loved to spill the tea and talk shit about that. And I went to call him yesterday, and I remembered that I can't call him. I don't know if this is like delayed grief or what it is. I'm just tired of like having to make big decisions like brain surgery and being admitted to the hospital, to like be taken off of an anti-seizure medicine and put on another one. Like, it's just a lot. Hello again. Long time no see. It is actually pretty early today. Julia's down for her first nap. She woke up early, like 5:30ish. I didn't even hear her get up. Chris got up with her and those two played all morning, and then I got up. They came and got me around 7. I took a shower, washed my hair, which is nothing shy of a miracle. I had gone 21 days. So I'd gone 3 whole weeks without washing my hair because I'd use dry shampoo and I obviously shower every day, but I've just gotten to a point where I can train my hair like that because I will be dyeing my hair this like summer, probably late spring, early summer. Julia's asleep for her nap and I'm just hanging out. I got ready for the day. I brushed my teeth. I was watching a podcast, which that is something I've been working with since the seizure in October. I cannot multitask. Is probably from the brain damage, but we don't know if it's from the seizure itself or the prolonged seizure activity. But multitasking used to be, that's where I was like at my best. And now multitasking is very, very hard for me. So I have been practicing multitasking by doing a small task while listening to a podcast. But I have to have the visual of it too. So like if I get kind of confused, I can look at it. Doing my makeup, I have a podcast going, or dinner. That one I do with music. I'm still not at the point where I can cook and listen to like words. Making progress. And that is something that I really, really struggled with in the beginning. And like I said, I mean, it's not record breaking by any means. I'm doing my makeup and watching a podcast or listening to a podcast, but working on those skills and rewiring my brain. And I feel like there's so many little things like that used to be so second nature to me that is not anymore, that I forget about, or I don't talk about a lot. So that's why I really like how I'm doing this weekly video, because there's little parts of it that are actually really big pieces of me that get dismissed or overlooked. Not dismissed because no one knows about it, but just I don't talk about it because it's just so small. It feels small in the scheme of brain tumors and epilepsy and anti-seizure medicine. And in the last clip, it was last night, I started to cry. And I don't think I kind of got overwhelmed with the emotions and then I shut down. I was crying. It started with my grandfather loved the tea in town. And so they're clear cutting across the road from us. And so I picked up my phone to call him to tell him about it. And I remembered, like, I can't call him. So that's what started this. And then when that sadness crept in, a lot of times I push things off. So if I feel like the tears in the brink of my nose, I'm going to push it off till the end of the day till I can deal with that, which is not healthy in the slightest. But that's how I react. All of the other things that I had been feeling sad about for the last probably week, 2 weeks, kind of accumulated and compounded. So once I opened the floodgates on not being able to call my grandfather, then it was a quick domino effect. So then I was upset about trying to make decisions on when to have brain surgery. And then weighing the pros and cons of having brain surgery, still probably gonna have seizures, and then losing the vision on my right eye. Is it worth it? Is a lot to weigh as a 25-year-old new mom. And then I get mad because it's so frustrating that I have to even be making these decisions. And then I get sad because they want to admit me next week to do like probably a little over a week-long stay to adjust my anti-seizure medicine. I really want to stay on these ones because these ones are breastfeeding and pregnancy friendly. Obviously that is very, very far off, and the fertility video has not come out yet. That is something in the back of my mind that I want to try to keep as an option. The thought of being hours away from Julia for an entire week makes me nauseous. And I know, like, I need to take care of my health, but at the same time, it's like, are we just pushing me around? I don't know. I have conflicting feelings about it, but my gut is saying, like, that is not the right choice. Like, I genuinely feel like if I go in and do that, I'm either gonna have a huge seizure, I'm not gonna react well to it. Like, I have a really bad feeling about doing it that way. And it's a gut thing. I have no science to back this up. And it's just, that's hard. And then I get, again, mad that I'm in this situation in the first place. And then I need to just stay, like, if I'm on social media, I need to simply be creating. I have found myself not scrolling on TikTok, not scrolling on Instagram. I like look at the stories on Instagram. I scroll on Facebook simply for the news, and then I get depressed about that. And then the only app I'm really using is Pinterest, because I've realized I get so fucking sad when I see pregnancy announcements and pregnancy videos. And I am so happy for all these people that I know that are having babies. It's the best thing on earth. I was so fortunate enough to have a healthy pregnancy and then have a healthy, beautiful, funny baby girl before the shit storm started with brain tumors and epilepsy and family members dying and all the other stress that's going on behind the scenes. I feel guilty in feeling sad about seeing pregnancy announcements or just other moms enjoying motherhood without all the stuff we're dealing with. And it's not fair for me to feel that way because they're going through hard stuff too. And social media doesn't always show that. Am I jealous? Maybe I'm jealous that my family is dealing with all of this stuff and it was supposed to, my expectations aren't being met. Maybe that's why I'm not jealous. I'm disappointed. I don't know. We got to work through a lot of this stuff. But the pregnancy announcements, and even like 2 influencers that I follow that I love dearly, or I don't know them, but I love watching their content. And one of them just had a baby and the other one's pregnant. Actually, there's a handful of them. There's 3 that I can think of off the top of my head. And it makes me sad. And I think the other part of this is that the original plan was we were going to start trying like at the beginning of the summer for our second, because we really wanted our kids close in age. And that's not going to happen. And I know that that's not going to happen, but maybe it's like the timing of it coming up that like that was the original plan and that's not going to happen. And then the idea that it may never happen for us again. And again, I feel like so guilty for even feeling sad about this because I do have a healthy, beautiful child. And I feel like I'm being an ungrateful bitch for being sad about it. I don't know. But then I get mad because I'm sad. Like every time I feel sad about something, then I get mad that I feel sad about it because the things I'm sad about are completely out of my control. And another part of this too is I love my job. I would give anything to not be in the situation that I'm in and to just be back at work and everything be normal. And I get so much anxiety over the fact that I am not the same person that I was when I left that Friday. Like, and I don't know if this is a mental thing. I don't feel as smart. It takes me so much longer to retain information. I cannot think as quick on my feet. I can barely, like, Chris and I used to do, like, we used to roast each other, and it would be like a quick back and forth. This would go on for sometimes over an hour of like roasting each other, but it was a really quick exchange, and I can't participate quickly. And that's just like, that's an easy fun thing. I can't even imagine trying to do the higher level thinking that was expected and needed of me every single day. Not gonna cry about this because there's absolutely nothing I can do about that today. I just got an email from my work saying that if I go on long-term disability, that I'm terminated from my job. My FMLA is shorter because I had my daughter this year, and I had to use some time for my maternity leave. I'm gonna be left with no insurance. Like, no job to go back to. I choose to have a brain tumor or epilepsy, and it's like, it just adds more stress to a situation I didn't ask for. What I can do today is I can continue practicing my multitasking, practice my editing. So I want to move these files onto my computer. That whole process still hurts my brain. But there's skills and building blocks that I can continue to do to get me in a place that I'll be able to do what I love. And not just do it, but do it well. Because I don't want to go back half-assed. Like, I want to go back to the best of my abilities, and if that can't perform at the level that I need to, I'll have to figure something else out because it's not fair to them. So I'm probably going to cut all of that out. But here we are. I'm trying not to laugh. So it is a week later, because obviously my day did not go to plan when that last clip was recorded. When I didn't realize that was the last video that I had recorded for that weekly vlog, I cannot believe that all of that anxiety that I had ended up leading up to that email that said that I wouldn't have a job to go back to. That is insane to me. I just can't explain it. The second I got the email, obviously, like, I spiraled and was very upset. But by that evening, this, like, built up anxiety that I had completely subsided. And I think it's because my biggest fear had just come true. But now I was in a position to just cope with it. Whereas before, I was, like, waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I didn't know that was what was going to happen. But my biggest fear was losing my job. We can debrief about this in a separate video, and then my weekly video for the next week does talk about this a bit. When I saw the words terminated, my reaction was that I was getting fired, not because of anything I did. So I guess technically I'm not, but I'm being let go. So anyways, I don't know the legality of that. But I felt like I was in trouble. Like, that is how I interpreted that. And that just felt like a gut punch. So anyways, that is where we're going to end that. Not at all how I anticipated the first weekly vlog to go. What a turn of events. but that's life and we just have to keep rolling with it. I think it's quite fitting that I was talking about what I can control and what I can't control. And this was a perfect lesson for that because I can't control the work stuff. I can't control the tumor stuff. I can control some of the decision making and treatment. I can control my reactions and my emotions. So obviously I let myself feel the sadness and the stress and the anxiety and the worry of what it means that I don't have a job to go back to. But I can't sit here and dwell on it. I can't sit here and be angry about it. There's policies in place for a reason. I completely understand that. They need to post my position or however they're going to restructure without me there. And the biggest thing is you're replaceable. Doesn't matter how many sacrifices you make, doesn't matter how hard you work. At the end of the day, if or when something happens to you, they're going to fill your spot. There's a line of people with their resumes ready to work. And that's okay. So, like I said, can't dwell on the little things. Obviously, not having a job is not a little thing, but in the scheme of everything we're dealing with, I can't sweat it. I can't change it, so I'm going to just control myself and not just having nothing but negative energy around me. I'm going to take it for what it is, and I'm going to pivot one foot in front of the other, and we will keep carrying on. So, like I said, we'll discuss this in deeper detail, especially now that I've had some time to unpack it, process it, understand it. And I hope that my perspective and transparency with this can help someone else. That's the whole reason I'm sharing my journey. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. I'm so happy that you are here. And if anyone hasn't told you yet today, I love you to the moon and back, and I will see you in the next video.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.